maybe, but there is energy here in this arena today. We have two titans of the sport, to be honest. Legacy teams that have been there since the beginning, and they are battling tooth and nail now for a chance. PRX, they've had many chances in the past, but now there's another one in front of them, and they are going to want to grip it, but they are up against a Fnatic, unstoppable all the way throughout that lower bracket. Looking to carve themselves into the history books a little bit deeper.
It's the team that has a strong claim as best of all time up against the best team that's never won. And there are many squads out there that would love to have as many chances as PRX have had at a trophy. And PRX, every time it seems to slip through their grasp. This feels like the moment. Coming through the upper bracket, double map ban advantage. In some sense, it's PRX's trophy to lose there in the middle between these two teams. But both are going to be scrapping for every inch, and it starts here on Sunset, a map that Fnatic are forced to play.
All steady for now. PRX nice and grouped up. Contact plays. They're hoping that they can grab an unaware player. Fnatic all playing A.
Are taking this kind of risk.
You
You could well run into somebody holding a one and done, but they're relying on the fact that Fnatic love to play for retake in these situations.
Yeah, so much util saved for PRX. They're going to get themselves into the post here, but bodies are already starting to get over towards that A site. Fnatic. 5 plays here, double flank occurring. Something has to be the stopping player in motion, and already trying to take a fight straight through spawn. Nade sailing up and overhead through main though, and these players getting squeezed. Crashes. It's already drawn blood. You're going to be hoping that it's the first of many, but it's a slow orb as well, just to slow the approach. At least for now, it's tepid, cautious, being played. Fnatic know that they have plenty of time to work with here. There's a time to potentially missed again. It's being jumped upon. Alpha here from the side, sticking all the way. Crashes, there's no stopping him! Fnatic! Lay claim to the opening pistol.
A slow siege upon the A site there from both teams, actually. Fnatic back into the retake. Managed to navigate all of that post-plant util. And the squeeze really came down onto something. He had to hold 2 players off on the flank and then got caught by that recon. Crashes with a very important round.
Nice! Come on, man! Come on! Bring me the pistol!
And the Viper Orb set up there for the retake as well from Chronicle, just allowing Fnatic to be able to get back in. A nice idea from PRX. I think you can see both teams have a good understanding.
Revealing area.
And here, looking like there might potentially be a crunch play in B. Boaster's got a paranoia he could go for.
Cycling through the util. Chronicles hunting for heads. Not to find too much, but PRX are not far behind. Rattling a few shots of their own here. Good time to talk about, I think, some of the expectations of players, I think, so far, but Fnatic are stacked with storylines, talent. It's all there. Plenty of players looking to get their hands on that trophy, lift it. Add another one to the tally, perhaps, for some of them. Chronicle, one of our most storied players of all time.
And Alfia as well, who's making a run towards MVP at this event. I think might be the first contact against these eco players. He's able to challenge a bit more aggressively.
It's a paranoia to try and set him up. Aggression called for, looking to try and crunch these PRX players in their place. The Alpha's taking liberties. This is a guy that has been let loose, unleashed. An MVP candidate. Of course, he can take these risks with just a pistol in hand. He's not going to be offering up any sort of guns here.
30 seconds left. Spike
Death by 1,000 cuts. PRX are feeling right now.
And another really solid hold on. PRX not doing anything too crazy just yet. We know that this is a team that can turn up the tempo massively, but early on here on Sunset, playing for all maximization, playing to slowly contact into areas and try to figure out what this Fnatic defense looks like. The more you contact, the more important people like Alfia and his utility become. And Crashies, the drone, the recon, Alpha's trips and cam. And this round, expecting a B pop, Boaster's got the troops positioned to defend on B. 4 players stacked from Fnatic.
All stacked up. Crashies, the lone defender towards A, full confidence in the retake, and Kayak gone wandering, lurking up through mid. He's going to be getting a lot of information.
This is a really nice timing, and PRX, one of the only things they do wrong is clearing these kind of spots.
Slight miss shot.
Poison's off.
Good information, though, for the attackers. And Crashies.
Crashies!
What a shot.
What a challenge to take.
He might think, though, that that's the only lurk player. It's difficult to expect the other four stacked up behind, but Kayak has read it.
Here comes the pincer. Here comes the crunch. Kayak instantly domes two. PRX are left reeling on their buy round. Fnatic maintaining discipline. It's composure that sailed them all the way through here. The rifles. It's going to have to be raw heroics to see if he can stand a chance in this one. PRX none the wiser. Lurks on lurks. Alpha here dropping Divine and a spike in their laps. It's inevitable at this point.
Jing's got an impossible task ahead of him. A 1v4 stuck in elbow. Even if he tried to save, it's not going to work. 30 seconds. Spike abandoned. Fnatic can put the squeeze on. They'd love to get another rifle on board and deny it away from PRX.
Short percentage.
He can't even get one. What a beautiful round from Fnatic, Brennan. A couple of strategic things as well for this EMEA team, looking strong early. One of which is Kayak is feeling confident enough to go for that kind of play in round 3. This is a rookie player coming in, having just won Ascension. He's played fantastically inside EMEA in stage 1. But to be able to do that in your first global event, in your first grand finals, that is confident. That's what you need. And the other part too is they're stressing the flank. PRX don't have a Cypher, they don't have a Vice, they don't have any ability to watch the flank with some kind of piece of util. And already after round 3, Alex is calling a timeout. This is a worrying sign for PRX, considering that this is the map that arguably they're the most favored on. That's why they've taken us here first.
And there's all that talk about, listen, the double map advantage. Fnatic don't have a deep map pool. Let me tell you, when you get to grand finals, when you get into that best of 5 territory, forget the strategy, the experience plays the biggest difference. Fnatic have that in spades. And you can make the same argument for PRX, but they've never done it. They've never lifted a trophy themselves before. They've come close, and they've always missed the mark. It's one of the things that's going to be circling around their heads.
And if you think all the way back to Copenhagen, the final map, as far as I can remember, they threw a crazy composition out there as well. They're playing Yoru Breach on Breeze, which is just, I mean, even in the current Yoru Breach era, is a bit of a mad idea to comprehend. They were always happy to go in and throw the punches and see what landed. Whereas Fnatic, I think, are going to be coming into a game like this with heavy ideas and strategy and ways of anti-stratting and breaking down what PRX have got in store for them. Especially on maps they knew were coming early, like here on Sunset.
The Outlaws to thrive in this setting. See your players on half armor. The dart immediately dealt with. Kayak is safe.
Never a worry, never a doubt that that recon was going to get broken. Crashy's always had that, leaving Kayak to hold onto the smoke. Forsaken.
Yes, risky business, but again, risks have to be taken when you're down like this. PRX want to increase the tempo, increase the heat. Taking control out towards market already. Stray shots, no damage, and need a couple more where that comes from. And now putting in the crunch.
Spike down B.
And they crumble towards it, but there's rifles in the hands of Chronicle, and he's taking this one. Oh, spotted still. It's just that 1-for-1. Chronicle managed to get Pac-Man out of there.
Alfie, going to have to be a hero here, coming back through market. PRX have done a great job of getting back into this round. Put a serious squeeze on the Boaster, he just couldn't hold up to the pressure.
Trying to do some damage towards the end of this one. Alfie has left it down to the 1v1. Forsaken! Alpha just dominates it!
Huge kill off screen as well. The Turkish aim comes through and saves Fnatic in a situation where things got sticky. Light weaponry only stingers out for PRX, but they're still down 0 and 4. Interesting moment in that. Boaster threw a counter paranoia to try to keep players back in market. Pac-Man just ran through, just kept running forwards. Living and breathing by the W Gaming, and it did put Boaster and Crashies in a tough spot that Alpha had to recover.
Come on, let's go.
A 4-0 lead, and now Kayak has the funds to be able to bring out the op. He is alone, though, on the A site here. Take a look at this guy. Doesn't really have the most support in the world. Crashies is going to come to get his back like he did in B main early, but PRX have the util to push him off.
Wall in your face too, and he hears it. Footsteps around, trying to take that one into the off angle, but there's a rocket in your face. You turned into pink mist in a moment's notice here. Crashies, he's stuck, isolated, skipping, hopping, trying to survive. Poster.
If Jing had thrown a nade in there, then surely he would have been dead, but
Crashes
instead
forward.
focusing on taking the site.
Crashes forward, he's already taken the timing against him, and he's trying to take it forwards. Fast and loose is the play. Wall into the back of the site though, it's all being contained in that flank again. Drone close, no coverage, and Cyberpost is there to respond. Patman only expecting the one.
Planted.
He's already jumped away. Poster and Alpha going to be left to do it all. Finally, Alpha reveals his hand. Look at the wrist, the hat goes out. It's going to be good information. Hammered up. Start rebounding. The time is going to start ticking soon enough. PRX is still a bit more disciplined. Looking to try and play this one together now. First tap, first target down. Poster's gone, and Alpha is next. So PRX. They do show up and they get that round on the board, a critical one at that.
A little bit of a late awakening here on the stage, but nice to see the PRX have got what it takes when there's ults on the board. Slight mechanical error there for Kayak at the very beginning. Had a shot actually on the Devi. I think he caught him dead to rights, but just got off the angle at the wrong moment. Chose to scope back up, and that cost him his life.
Dude,
And
so
now
easy,
Kayak's-
mate. Come on.
Now Kayak's going to have to play with his Neon ultimate. Already invested pretty heavily economically in the previous round. And now PRX going into the Cypher setup.
Dart tucked around, it's an instant drone and walking, wading out through mid. Patman looking to contain it. He's missed the timing on it though. These players have already slipped straight past. Kayak.
He's
could
going to
be doing
hear
some
stuff.
damage. Oh, surely hears it, yes. Tip tap of the footsteps, and he buys his time, buys it well. Here's the ult to buy, shuts him down, but up through mid. It's Patman. Straight up the gut, instant res as well. It's going to be undoing that damage.
And a
Dealt a little bit earlier.
massive gap in mid here, Brent. Forsaken. Through
Just dive
completely.
out.
Patman as well. They've cut a swat straight through the middle of this Fnatic defense. Just rotating through, and Chronicles left to pick up the pieces and wonder what the hell happened to this defense macro. PRX were all gathered up towards A, and yet still found that perfect timing. And this is really going to hurt or start to put the hurt on the Fnatic eco too.
Something in Chronicle. Shoulder to shoulder. He spots out the barrel, so handed a freebie.
But just going for the save here. PRX got good value out of that res. Devi online early, able to undo all of the good work that Kayak had done with his tiles push. And again, I just want to stress how much Fnatic are going for these mid pushes and these flanks. They're really trying to abuse. Feels like the biggest part of their anti-strat so far is trying to abuse the fact that PRX do not have that Cypher in their composition. Push down, try to get the flanks going for the A retake. Something that Boaster loves to do when we've seen him call in the past on maps like Haven, for example, against these Sentinel-less comps. But this time just missed that timing on Patman. And I think it can be tough to play against PRX sometimes because they do take unorthodox timings. They're willing to take a bit more risk. And so back-to-back rounds. That shot too, instantly denying the Neon ultimate. Creating space for the res.
Too easy, guys. Come on.
Alpha
You know how
also
good
had
it is.
all of his Cypher utility on the A site that round. And once again, he's going to put it all down on B, so not using any of it for top mid information, except for this cam, which is going to be able to see feet as you walk up mid. But if Alpha's not tapping it regularly, then Patman could still find a timing.
A real switch up as well from the game plan of PRX.
No, they're really focused on this A pressure, trying to get big value out of Patman's utility, even if it's not actually Patman who's there taking the space.
Drone. PRX trying to hide their intent.
Very slow so far on the attack side for PRX too, isn't it? Really trying to mess with expectations.
Oh, the dart doesn't clear. Kayak was sat nice and pretty. Patman none the wiser. Thought he caught a timing there. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forward. Starts going to be blinding up Alpha. Nade rebounding. We'll have to respect it. Market control. PRX is for now. And you see now Hunter's furious and there's signs of life. That's from afar. Crashies. To supplement it, trying to put a stop to this one, but PRX, they're denying that momentum they've got. This train is not stopping, not here, not now.
They barrel through. Unconventional pathing there for PRX. Didn't send anyone through B main. And Fnatic were left wondering. As the wall came down over towards Boba, slicing off the defenders on site. Chronicle didn't know which way to look. Very much an adaptation here for PRX in terms of how they're approaching this one. The game plan coming from Alex, maybe even coming from Mini too. Remember that former Fnatic head coach is now doing assistant coaching for this squad. But the game plan appears to be slower and more deathball-y. They're not trying to split. They're just trying to stay together and take out Fnatic piece by piece on rounds like this. If they haven't had the success over towards Elbow, then working through Market and up to Boba was wondrous there. This is now 3 rounds in a row for PRX. Trying out a really unconventional, slow pace to their game. And at any point here, they can turn up the tempo and it's going to catch Fnatic off guard.
That's the thing with PRX though. I mean, reaching new heights and evolution for this team now.
One enemy
A little bit more of that nuance that's available to them, the slower play, working the map on their attack sides.
And I think they have to. If you play that undisciplined W gaming style, the one where it's not so refined, I think Fnatic eat that up all day long. They're a disciplined team. They love absorbing aggression. That old PRX style just simply wouldn't work, I don't think. They have beaten them before. It's one-on-one between these two teams, so I'm not saying it can't ever work, but I don't think it was the right idea to go into this game with. But in this tournament, we've seen a better, more thoughtful PRX. Willing to pump the brakes and play with a little bit of discipline in the mid-round after doing the same fast pressure. They've still got that killer instinct. They're just willing to temper it. It's now Fnatic who are going to have to take a timeout of their own. The newer coaching staff, who've had so much success with this roster, looking to add their input into things. And I would say now's the time to try to hit something quick if you're PRX. If you wanted to change up the tempo at any point in this game, coming out of your opponent's timeout, that's one of the best opportunities for you. It is going to be a bit of a half-buy round for Fnatic. Kayak with a glass cannon guardian, a stinger, and a sheriff around the place. So maybe PRX will play with patience in this one and turn up the tempo for the next. Early B main, though, is already a little bit different.
Yeah. Spread out. Control, one away from some big ults as well. Jing. Looking forward to that showstopper. Contact plays good for again. It's just poking out. Now spotted here with a snake bite, rebounding, ricocheting. Chronicle looking to try and slow them down. Her body's behind this one. It's a delayed hit. Jutting smoke. Got to be careful of this one. Alpha inside it, trying to sidestep straight towards it. Something just dismisses him. And Jing already taken up that timing. Slips into the gap and finding his mark. Boaster has to operate it, a bit of run and gun. Backside control is still there for Fnatic.
Spike planted.
Plan down now for
One
PRX.
enemy remaining.
And PRX are not stopping. They're not content with just the front. They want the entirety of this map.
Really good adjustment there as well. Alpha, a little unfortunate, does hit the 140 with the Phantom. You see there the aim punch on something. And Alpha moves away thinking that he's already got the kill. His crosshair resetting onto the next target before even confirming that something had hit the deck. And after a 0-4 beginning to this map, it feels like PRX, the vibes are back.
Yeah.
They've tied up the game, and going into this, Kayak once more picking up the operator, and still a slow beginning actually for PRX. Really not trying to challenge early on. It's been more about contacting. And then the question becomes, who's actually holding the contact for Fnatic? Because often they're playing really passive lines. And here you just see Boaster jiggling and Kayak holding elbow.
Operator in hand, one of the best tools for the job, but seeing signs of life. Jing, that's his cue to go. Sending it ricocheting against the wall. That's no damage done to Boaster. He's eager to draw that blood. Just trying to wrangle control of the rifle. Kayak's been overwhelmed. PRX crack open the A site. And crack heads while they're at it. Jing, not content with just a few. Device steals them right from his sight line.
A huge round, and the defense collapses again from Fnatic. Kayak had to hit that shot. He put himself on such an aggressive angle. A really deep position that you see this Neon dive from in elbow. And if he doesn't hit the shot, then he can't escape. Neon's got great maneuverability, but you've got to get the first in order to avoid getting traded. A Boaster fell shortly afterwards with that scramble in the smoke. Chronicle once more not really able to have too much impact in his 5th grand final appearance. Thus far, PRX have been avoiding him mostly. A couple of times now that we've seen him save, and Divide back up to another res, by the way. So got his 2nd available, and that's just a really nice tool for being able to deal with those early skirmishes if PRX play as a pack. I think it'd be fair to call them the fan favorites.
Oh, yeah. All smiles here.
That's why I was saying yesterday, I really feel like Fnatic are going to be the villains of this story. They've set themselves up as the barrier between PRX and the trophy that's always one step out of reach. You have to go through a team that's managed to do it back-to-back. But at the moment, PRX have picked themselves up after a bad start and have been pretty much flawless since then.
The early timeout has worked wonders.
Kayak once more getting into this deep position, willing to take a bit of a gamble here, tucked himself down behind this box in mid. Last time, didn't find too much value from it.
Deep pushes are everywhere on the map. Fnatic. There's Boasters out through A main, down through mid. Getting a good idea now. This is going to be landing over towards B. Chronicle tucked to the corner. It's going to be feeling that heat, takes the peak. Dealing with these players out towards the extremities, but not through bottom mid. Instant res. Forsaken brought back into the fold. Crashes. Just can't control that Guardian in time. Something. Feeling that heat and that stun does. Good connection. Kayak. Trying to make some moves. Alpha dominates market. This. Putting a bit of fear now into the step of PRX. Forced the plan towards the back of the site.
But playing together, Forsaken and Divine need to come up with a plan here for dealing with things. Suddenly, though, they split apart, trying to get on either side of the Neon wall. So Kayak may be the target. Feels like PRX need to take the fight into one of these guys on Fnatic.
Setting ducks right now. Alpha, low enough. Shot to the dome, though, will do him in. Kayak. He's got to do it in a 1v2. Biding his time in through the smoke, waiting for something to fade. Eventually there. Barrow sticking out, though, and a 3-2-1 face from PRX. Grabs them that 2-round lead.
Even when things are looking tricky, they've got a game plan, they've got the right micro calls. And that honestly was quite passive too from Kayak towards the end. I'd like to see him get back into that more confident way, although what he was doing in the mid-round was nice to be able to crack open B main. Alpha wins one hugely important duel against Jing, but couldn't overcome Divide, who's top of the scoreboard, 10-5.
Similar setup. PRX not changing things up. Do they expect Kayak is going to be tagged? Jing! Just adjust the aim. Crashes. Does trade. But now the heat and the pressure is going to be turned up onto Alpha. He steps forwards. A bit of spam coming his way. That's a Hunter's Fury into the back of the site. Alpha trying to capitalize off this chaos. Moving forward, sidestepping. Crashes! Indomitable from this spot.
Drops Divide, drops the spike, manages to sidestep the Hunter's Fury in the meantime too, but they know where Alpha is, and it's tough to really support him.
Trying to clear him out. Rifle in hand. Trying to lead the march forwards, and the spike potentially retrievable, but Fnatic have eyes on it.
Yeah, Boaster's done a great job here actually of getting, he's beefed the movement there. Was just trying to get on top of the box. He was in a spot where he could support Crashies, and now there's a dangerous timing until this wall breaks, but it looks like it's just about to expire, and he's been saved for that. 3v3 and Forsaken with an Omen ult means that this spike isn't really in enemy territory at all.
Part of the reason why Chronicle hasn't rotated. Picks it up, slow it down. PRX only have 30 seconds to work with here.
And what a call. He's calling to go back into the same site, trying to fake out the idea he would have left.
20 left. Boaster, watchful eye smoke dissipates, but too many targets. Too much to deal with. Crashies. It's all on him. Tries to buy time, but a bullet to the dome and a bullet to the temple. Chronicles left in that 1v2.
This situation, though, finally winnable for Chronicle, an opportunity for impact.
Looking for an easy fight first. The first most spots it out. Snake bite. No rebound necessary, but doesn't really connect. Something sits it down. Viper's picked. Thought about, committed. Let loose entirely. And the bullets are raining down on him now. Time ticking away. Spraying away. Chronicles hoping, praying. Hoping that PRX will give him absolutely anything to reload and run forward for Forsaken. Knocks him out.
7 rounds in a row for PRX here. Fnatic just making too many mistakes on the defense side. Kayak kind of whiffs a little bit in this opener, doesn't land a single bullet on Jing. And then Boaster chooses the worst time to drop from high ground to low ground. As this smoke dissipates, he's choosing to walk forwards. Not accurate to hold that smoke as it leaves the PRX players in the open. Small errors and a massive comeback in this half from PRX.
All the way back off the side of that timeout.
Forsaken as well, picking up an attack op. He's got the money to just go for a rifle afterwards. Just watching mid. And a little pacier perhaps, going for a B-pop here.
Yeah, Fnatic hard, disrespecting though. Deep push out towards A main, so they've got the information, they know what's up.
Jing, one away from a showstopper, but choosing not really to go heavily prioritizing it. Instead, looking to try to clear the flank. They know this has been happening.
Game of timings. Kayak drifted in and out. It's Batman who falls. Something is next. Fnatic, full control towards it. There's a paranoia in your faces and they're going to be disengaging.
Best opportunity for Fnatic to snag around since the first 4.
Leaving PRX to stew.
And PRX thought it was a mid push, realized it wasn't, so now they're exploring mid themselves.
In the shoulder. Forsaken, that is a ballsy TP. Out wide, off angle played.
Could be on Kayak here. Could be on Kayak over towards A. You see Jing is making his way towards it, but all 3 players on PRX trying to make their own individual timing play.
Forsaken is caught one. Can they catch the next? Crashes! Topples! The court access towards it, but still, it's B main control for Fnatic. They should be in a good spot for it. Site needs to be cleared out here. In through the back of the site, it's going to be that plant.
10 seconds left.
Watch for Lions wall on a bit as the curtain drops. So does Alpha. Rocket to your feet, you cannot stop this team. When PRX get going, there's no denying them. Kayak will try everything, but 8-4 is where we leave it.
The train took a little while to get going here on Sunset, but then it just plowed through Fnatic. A 3v5 that they turn around with a brilliant lurk play. Again, a great idea of what to do, a great call on it, found the perfect timing. Forsaken looks amazing here. He's even overtaken Divine.
Unreal scenes so far. PRX not slowing down, but we're going to send it down to the floor. A special guest is standing by.
I am delighted to be joined by the Riot CEO, Dylan Jadeja here. Now, Toronto has been such a fantastic host city. Welcome back, by the way. Wanted to ask you, how are you finding the event? And also, what have you been up to?
I gotta tell you, this is such an incredible city. It's home for me. I grew up in Brampton, so it's really special. Yeah, that's right. It's really special to walk the streets of Toronto and see people wearing the VAL logo and to be a part of this community. You guys bring such incredible energy to this event. It means so much to us. This is one of the greatest cities in the world, and so to have the opportunity to showcase this to all of our players around the world, that's great. I also would be remiss if I didn't take a second to say thank you to all the players here, to all the players who are watching this online, to the co-streamers and the influencers. You guys make it possible for us to bring this event to our players, so I just want to say thank you to everyone. I got the chance yesterday, by the way, to go back to Brampton. The food is the best in Canada, I just gotta say, so.
I completely agree. Now, it's made it even more special by the fact VALORANT just celebrated its 5th birthday. I remember being there when the game came out, so I wanted to ask you if you could maybe reflect and tell us what it was like on, on launch day.
Yeah, it was crazy. We launched VALORANT in the middle of the pandemic with no real perspective on how well it would be loved by players. We knew we had built something that would serve the needs of an audience that cared deeply about a tax shooter. And we thought we had nailed that, but when you launch it in the pandemic, you never know how it's going to play out. And then we didn't know how we were going to serve the game. We were working from home. So we shipped this from people's living rooms. And it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for this community. It's been inspiring and humbling to have this be co-created by such passionate players. So we're very, very fortunate and very blessed to have this community build this game with us.
Thank you so much. And also, PRX might lift their first trophy in 5 years as well. So let's jump back in the game and see if they can close this out.
We're going to see how this first map all shakes out. Time's already ticking. These players are eager to get back into the fight between each other. Fnatic and PRX.
What an end to that half, though, for PRX. I mean, if there was any team with momentum here, it would be them. Take a look at the Coinbase Econ report and see if you can pick out a player for PRX that would be looking to try to invest heavily in the defense half. This is not a map that you expect them to be going too much towards the operator. You know, they eliminated Ascent, for example, which is where something's going to be going heavy with that. But here, it's more to do with them playing as a pack, playing as a death ball. And I think Jing and Devi have been great at being able to set up those tip of the spear moments with Forsaken either coming in behind or setting up lurks. And they've just all had phenomenal impact so far. Really feels like they've settled into the rhythm of this map.
Yeah. I was worried at the beginning, Josh. Can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, they're a great team. They've got deep in a lot of tournaments, but winning has eluded them. And you gotta hope that they don't choke another, I think.
Yeah.
At the moment, though, set up in a great position on a map they should have been favored on.
A lot of running around occurring. PRX are stacking A towards the 4 players. Early setup. Creeping and crawling forwards. Chronicle has to be the player to receive. It's an off-angle for him. Damage! Done and more! Chronicle and Alpha, I mean, they just put those players in their backpack.
Toxins going up.
Something's going to try to recover this one. Actually might have caught a timing. Back around the backs, but scurried away. Chronicle and Alpha live to fight another day. Alpha has been going re-exploring.
Yeah, he's going to have to take down Flight. It's not clean. Any stretch of imagination. Something dropped down to 10 health as a result of it.
Standing ahead.
Door needs to be broken now. Clearing away. That doesn't clear most of it, though. This is an impossible scenario for Fnatic. A pistol round in their sights. Already control. Tripled up. In through the back of the site. Main is theirs from Kron.
Last player standing.
Lurking into the fray. Patman is the last one left now to stand against this. What can he really do? The rookie. Not a lot. Revealed up. It's a classic right click, simple enough.
So both pistols in this map going the way of Fnatic, but really very few rifle rounds. I mean, one, if you could even call the bonus round that in the first half, going the way of the EMEA team.
Did I kill you?
So we'll see if that trend continues. Fnatic got a great start out, and they just couldn't convert any further. But PRX, that same gap that Fnatic were trying to exploit in the first half by sending flanks, pushing mid, that gap does still exist here on their defense side, that lack of information. For example, in this round, how open market is.
Deep control, PRX just disrespected him really. Flush of the nade, trying to earn up some ults.
The slower that Fnatic play, the more that PRX are going to be worried about those gaps. And it means that PRX themselves have to be pretty proactive in the defense. If you play against PRX and you just hit sites over and over, you make their job very easy here. Because they don't have to worry about the lurk, they can just play for the retake. But when you play slow, the way that Boaster calls, there's going to be worries in the back of Forsaken's mind. And they'll have to take timings like this to re-clear mid and then spread back out.
Deploying drone.
One of that 3-2-1 swing. I'll give me that, at least for the due diligence. Clearing out the way, this is PRX looking to try and flood their way back in. They've only got pistols, trying to make the most of it right now, but again, bodies topple and fall, complete collapse onto the site. Patman, yeah, not live for much longer. 2 now. And this half here for Fnatic, looking to see if they can convert this bonus. It's going to be a healthy one.
And PRX are going to play to try to flood. They love playing quickly. As you put the spike down, they're going to be running back into sight, trying to deny you. Very coordinated with their utility as well, but fast-paced. So far in this
We are
tournament,
holding this A, bro. We are defending now again on side.
yeah, they're not even going to have the chance to get into post plants very often and play these really calm, controlled post plant setups. It's going to be frantic. They're going to feel like defenders, just as Kron said.
Fnatic are getting a glimpse into mid. Jump spots. Info gathered.
Looking to diligently clear these corners,
There.
waiting to see if any of the PRX players have tried to take a tricky aggro timing.
It's a deeper wall from Patman. It's causing some concern, but cleared out now by Fnatic.
A devised wall is really good at blocking these gaps. So he's popped it down over towards A right now, and nobody from Fnatic choosing to break it, which means in theory, the defenders can back out of A and go to cover a different gap. But they're waiting here, expecting Boaster to be a good enough caller to want to break this wall.
And they're poking, prodding, just trying to bring it down. It's going to be fading at a moment's notice, and while that was occurring, something was the only player holding top mid. He's gone. Kai takes him out. Forsaken responds. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forwards as well, putting a bit of pause into the step of Fnatic. Slow as they go. Time to be taken. Crashes the one with a spike here, and he's going to be dropping it into Forsaken's
Spike
lap.
down,
Full
B.
control here. This is the round has gone a bit skew with Fnatic. They need a miracle in and out around the spam. It's been picked up, but Jing is straight there.
One
Bullet to the
enemy
body of
remaining.
Alpha. There's not much left that they can really do from this spot. PRX up to 9.
And Forsaken does such a great job holding market, forcing Fnatic to pay for every inch they take in blood. Even though something falls, Forsaken is not willing to give this up. Even with a drone in his face, he chooses to challenge, to fight,
One enemy remaining.
and then catches even a timing on
Don't mess with
crashes.
me, bro! Don't mess with me, okay?
And that kind of conditioning is going to cause Fnatic to use more utility, be more cautious, always doubling up. Forsaken steps forward again. Oh, he's been caught on the other side of the wall.
Yep. It's going to be dropping down in front of him, and Alpha just drops him in instead.
That's rough. He was trying to break the cam there and still get back into market in time. That's a fumble.
Deep dart to clear this way. Ball's going to be propped up. We can. It's looking like a B split poster. Just drifts right into the crosshair placement. Jing!
Down mid.
Like a rocket
Player
man,
standing.
but the bodies are toppled anyway. Fnatic find the advantage in the edge, just left to Patman. Scrambling, running right into the sights. Chronicle.
You love to see plays like that from PRX, leaning on some of the classic odd timings of aggression. But Fnatic dealt with it. Maybe this is the kind of pace that they're more comfortable playing against. They were very ready for that peak
Spike
from
down
something.
mid. One enemy
It's super
remaining.
similar to what Forsaken went for in the previous round, trying to timing the drone. And then as much as Jing got value from that peak, Fnatic come out on top. Another good start to a half. But that didn't stop PRX from coming back and getting 8 in a row.
Go get him.
PRX are just clearing out A right now, allowing something to build up a little closer to the Hunter's Fury, which is an incredibly useful ultimate, especially when you want to play that flood defense style. Puts a lot of pressure on the planter. In this round, Boaster's calling for his team to explore over towards B. And Patman, he's been trying to challenge this. Once more, they do not want to give any space for free. Fnatic are going to have to fight to get into these post plants.
Wall down, barely broken. Not quite there yet. That's going to be signs of life. So, okay, Jing, let's go forwards. It's an eco round. Rocket rebounds, no kill. Alpha taking Jing out of the fight. A lot of the biting around that PRX were hoping for. It's going to be dissipating now. Deep drone has rather reclear some of that info, but it's called for Fnatic. We're going to go over towards B. Forsaken and Patman.
Toxins going up.
The only defenders, the only players to try and put a stop to it.
30
Kayak.
seconds left.
It's going to be offloading that ultimate now. Overdrive in hand. Trying to put a stop to Batman, and there's only so much you can do. There's a neon AD in your
Player
face.
standing.
Inevitable at this point here. Trying to go for the trade out. Alpha's there in time.
And Alpha, yeah, is the hero of the round. Takes a pretty large risk in stepping forwards to the showstopper, but catches a nice timing onto Jing. Catches him in the side, utilizes his ultimate, and they realize there is a huge gap in the defense all the way up mid into Market and Boba.
One enemy remaining.
And they catch these players on the B side, separating them entirely from those defenders that would love to rotate and support. Here's the timeout once again, called by Coach Alex. This was what made all the difference before. Alex had some input, and they ran the next 8 rounds in a row on their attack side, PRX. What's the adjustment here? I think it is very tough to play against Fnatic's slower paced style. When you don't have a Sentinel in your composition, you can't just sit back. You've got to meet that caution with some aggression of your own. To some degree, I think PRX today need to be playing fast and cocky, yeah, but they also need to be playing smart. They need these adjustments coming through from Alex to be able to tell them the right times to go aggro, the right ways in which to play the retake.
We can see from the money situation, Divine opting into the operator, might still stick towards it.
This goes here.
Change his mind, but maybe a central piece to try and hold together this defense.
And I think the interesting component of that too is he's the Sage, and the wall is also an essential component of their mid-rounding defense and their info game. So is he going to play for the wall early and then in the mid-round get posted up with the op, or does he try to take early angles and ignore the fact that his wall could be finding them good value in the mid?
Wall in his face for now. We find towards the top. Sakam taken out, and a double phase!
Destroyed.
Oh my, obliterated.
And so now you've got no op, no wall, no res. One of your most important players hits the deck so early.
PRX are left wandering out into the open, but Alpha. Good pick. Best that they could potentially find.
He might have even seen 2 on the minimap there as he died, because it looked like something and Pac-Man were doubled up.
So PRX have brought it even, 4 versus 4 now, and another 3-2-1 into the space! Kayak! That's disgusting work.
That's beautiful. The neon movement as well, to just glide away from the trade. He's sharp, confident, and starting this hit into the B site.
Yeah,
PRX, I mean, they don't even have the tools, the funds here to contest, frankly.
They've scrambled away. Might look to try and save some of the guns. Operator perhaps, but they're drifting in like they want to try and take a chunk out of Fnatic.
They've got 4 players that aren't going to be able to buy in the next round.
Unwise. I think they've realized it.
One of the players could go for something. If they'd found a lurk, if they'd found a pick. But Pac-Man, he picks up the operator and they just play for it into the next round. 2 opportunities for PRX to be trying to find an early pick through mid. One with the op and one with the double face, and both dismantled. Really sharp shooting here from Fnatic.
They're going to be drawing it level with that one. 9-9 for Fnatic. That experience, that grit.
You talk about drawing in, though. Look at the net drawing in on these players trying to save.
They got to save them. Forsaken steadily being overwhelmed at this point. Like this Caps are going to try and run him down to the final moments. No respite. No saving.
And
No
no
consolation prizes. And yeah, no money. Like you said, Josh, this is now a dire circumstance.
God, what a shot.
That's beautiful.
Barely sees a glimmer.
Healer kill.
And then the Kayak 1v2 afterwards is spectacular as well. Something doesn't get much of a chance there.
I helped you, bro.
Standing ahead.
PRX are willing to take the risks on rounds like this, and it's Forsaken who goes straight down with the...
Already the deep TP, but he's surrounded potentially there, and it's just offset immediately. Patman going down. Clears up a series of unknowns. Fnatic can start to slowly get a grip on what's going on.
They Viper walled for mid. so the Forsaken could push, but that meant that Patman didn't have his own Viper wall in B main that he's been playing around.
Forsaken still stands up, but okay, can't avoid that one. Kayak is sharp right now.
Fnatic are doing a great job of dealing with all of this defensive pressure, and like I've been saying over and over again, PaperX have to do this. It might look like PaperX are just kind of walking into their demise, but their composition relies on them getting active on defense. They can't just sit back. And Fnatic are not giving them an easy game here. They are not hitting sights and execing until the very final moments. And by that point, PaperX have already given them a pick.
Why not even pressure across the board? Something re-exploring. It's a head ripped off, but immediately again the answer back's there. Market is open and accessed here for Fnatic. Something's being squeezed.
You know where both of these players are though. Boaster's just calling for a full rotate over towards A. Something got a kill, Divide threw out a slow orb, Divide even getting picked over towards Boba. And they've got a great idea of where something is.
Yeah, and time
It's a
whittled
4v1.
10 seconds left.
No real opportunity here for something. Maybe feeling like he has to do it all.
Spike planted.
Spike planted on A. This is a dire circumstance for PaperX.
Forsaken only has 800 credits too. So this is just a slam dunk save. Something's entirely on the wrong side of the map with no information, and I don't think he's going to keep a weapon. Alpha spins 90 degrees, decapitates something. Fnatic take the lead back. It's been a while since we were able to say that.
And a string and run of rounds that PaperX earned in that first half. Offset now, Fnatic. There is no denying that resilience. They've showed it all tournament long.
One enemy remaining.
There's only a few teams in the history of VCT that have completed a lower bracket run. They would love to add their name to that list.
One of those legendary lower bracket runs, FPX at Masters Copenhagen denying PaperX the trophy when PaperX came through that upper bracket. The first time that PaperX ever had a chance at a trophy. Another slow beginning from Fnatic, never allowing PaperX an easy round.
Cautious tale that they're weaving across the map.
A drone up over the top, trying to get a little bit of information, but doesn't see Alpha yet, tucked behind the pillar. And they might want to go for that same 3-2-1 mid re-clear. Even Divide coming to try to help it out.
Come towards it, broken up towards the top. There's fights to be taken, but battle lines redrawn and lurking up onto the angle. Patman deletes Boaster.
That's
Start
big.
for PaperX, and they put the wall up as well to reinforce towards Market. Watchful eye up towards it, but Alpha! My God, that's instinctual.
Beautiful timing, but Divide's there with the res.
Hunter's Fury though to try and punish, and this is getting hot and heavy. Brought all the way towards him. There's no tags from Crashies, no clearance. Forsaken ducked right underneath it. There's that orbs propped up. It's a full spam committal to the clip, but already the timing forwards at near sight just catches onto Kayak. Won't deny him that kill though. He's having to put Forsaken in his place and now taking control of the site. In the blink of an eye, there's only 15 seconds left. Slow orb, stun rattling the nade, ricocheting, Kayak being chipped down, and PaperX, they do drag it level.
So tough for Fnatic to be able to get the spike down in that situation. Not only was the time against them, but something still had the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket too. Boaster going for the fake there and just completely whiffing the teleport. Mechanical error. Seen a couple of them today from a few players.
Enemy remaining.
I think that showcases the nerves that can hit even the most experienced people when it comes to the grand finals. The game level though, and PaperX with a really critical one to win in that prior. They still have massive ultimates that if they can run the time down are going to be super important. That shock dart is supposed to break a trip. And the lineup just off.
Rattling. Handshake with the bullets. Forsaken. Forced to respect it when the Viper orbs up. Drop down with a double face through the box. No damage done.
Forsaken though is always going to be re-challenging. He's super aggressive.
Trying to take that fight, and he has put the rookie in his place. Kayak. There's no more. Chronicle going for a little bit more. Again, these smokes causing issues.
Forsaken just cannot be dug out of these spots. He was doing the same thing over towards Market to win PRX around previously. Look how much Fnatic are struggling to be able to even get information over here. They're droning in towards B, trying to pull defensive rotates. Boaster might be the playmaker up mid.
Yeah.
And Forsaken is here again.
Moved in, drops down though.
With feet.
It is with feet. No control over the rifle in that
30
spot.
seconds
Something
left.
puts a stop to it in a 3v5 scenario. Fnatic still looking to see if they can test towards that A side. Jing propped up. Missed the timing onto the cross. Barely alive there. Just shredded back and forth with the bullets. Fnatic have access towards it, but Hunter's Fury is let loose to try and deny the plans. He's giving them hot feet. Crashes up for mid. But there's the connection they were looking for. And PRX take back control of the momentum of this map.
Two crucially important rounds here towards the tail end, where it looked like Fnatic had properly clawed their way back in, and I think so much of it is down to Forsaken. The space on the map that Fnatic want to try to take, it's impossible. Forsaken is everywhere.
Enemy remaining.
He should be respecting utility. Most players would. They wouldn't be willing to take this level of risk, but Forsaken is, and he's constantly re-challenging, trying to get back on the angle, playing on the very edge of the risk that he can take, but not getting punished for it. And he's just making all of this map control feel impossible for Boaster's calling. That's why Boaster had to make that play up mid in the prior. Once again, it is only Forsaken defending this spot over towards A. And yet they'll have a hard task going through him.
He's not keen to give it up.
They do have a camera that they can pop that should be able to get a tag and push him off potentially.
Scanning ahead.
Utah's going to be sent flying forwards though to TP. Evacuation back to the side. Paranoia and the dart up and over towards the top. There's a smoke to play in. Forsaken, he's safe for now. Responds with the rockets. Forsaken just sidestepping all of them.
Flying drone. Enemy mark.
And reinforcements have arrived. PRX trying to hotly contest most of this space here, but they have given up all of B in the process, and now a mad scurry and a dash. Fnatic making moves over towards the opposite side.
They've got enough time. You can see PRX
left.
doing a re-clear at the moment, and that has informed this rotate for Forsaken. He gets down in the anchor spot again. He is everywhere. He is everything. And Fnatic look like they've given up on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, is Boaster waiting to maybe teleport in if Crashies had managed to open up the site? This just looks like a pure save.
No time left. It's whittled
seconds
down. And
And look-
PRX.
Look at the impact, Brian, again that Forsaken had here. He was impossible to get through. They had to use a cam, a recon, huge amounts of info. The Neon ultimate as well to push him back. And all that happened was he teleported back and played inside of his own smoke. Used the paranoia, got 2 kills and then teleported to the other side and made them save through sheer aura. The anchor play is phenomenal from this guy so far.
Insane confidence. And all the smiles. A little bit concerning.
Yeah, I was saying, perhaps Fnatic are the villains to PRX's protagonist anime arc, and yet, with that chuckle, maybe Batman's the villain in disguise.
The Riddler's in the building. Little Joker, take your pick.
Forsaken, though, has just been storming up the scoreboard in these last few rounds. Kayak and Alpha, yeah, were doing huge work for Fnatic on that run in the 3rd quarter. And now that we're getting towards the end of the game, PRX up towards map point. It really has felt like the final boss is Forsaken to get through. This player that plays everything for PRX. The glue guy, the leader, stepped up as a caller. The evolution of Forsaken has been remarkable to watch. When they were first stepping onto the global scene and contesting for trophies, he was a bit of a W Gaming duelist player. Kind of crazy, chaotic. Won them rounds for sure, but also lost them quite a few. And now he is pretty rock solid. It's difficult to watch him put a foot wrong.
1 round away from that first stepping stone the PRX are looking for. Deep hold again. This is aggression though by Fnatic. Hold up. Bit of spam into the box. And instantly calling for the retreat.
looking to try to put the pressure on early, maybe anticipating that that's where Forsaken was going to be playing. And the cam up above the pit, not going to spot Patman.
Gemini's timing something. Ooh, he's going to be handed that surely. A fight to be taken. A lot of damage under Crashies. The stun ricochets perfectly in place. The divide topples. Something trying to fill up those gaps though. Straight from behind, Spike dropped down. Smoke up, Bakai's ahead of it. It's all down to something in that 1v2.
He knows the Boaster's going to play for the
boy.
ultimate. He knows that he doesn't need to defend the spike. And so something's now found a much earlier timing into market.
Ahead of it now. Here's the plan. This is the best timing for it. He can isolate a fight. 1v1 Alpha! Safe pair of hands.
He saves Fnatic. That could have been an unreal play from something. He's been struggling to hold on to these gaps in the map. He's got a really difficult job trying to hold on to mid. And here Divide gets overwhelmed by a stun, and something caught up, has to turn, pivot in a moment and catch his Chronicle. Almost made the magic happen. But still Fnatic, with that grit, push us to the final round of regulation. Can they give overtime in map 1?
So Paranoia forwards already. PRX. Very fast play indeed.
That's it.
And the Warlock. None the bloody wiser. It's a bloodbath in towards the bottom section. And Palmer now looking to try and put a stop to any of it. No more funny business. PRX. They want this first stepping stone and they want it bad.
The perfect time to pull out a set play like that. Leaves Chronicle and Crashies in a tough 2v4. Boxed in on site. PRX, this first map feels just an inch away.
Viper's pit offloaded. A blight onto the site that's given them that safety net. Fnatic trying to play through, but immediately it falls. And PRX take out number 1.
A gorgeous play, a perfect decision. The tactic, immaculate at the end. Alpha left wondering what the hell happened and where he was being shot from. That map was favored to PRX, but they ended it with style.
Big step in the way. GB and the analyst desk, of course, breaking it all down. You don't want to go anywhere.
Let's go, boys. Good job.
game back, but I think you have to give a lot of it to Forsaken, this guy who's stepped up much more as a leader coming into this event on this entire run. And despite him saying that, hey, I'm IGLing now, I'm not shooting as well as I used to, he's still putting up numbers in the server. This round was incredible, and his impact in that second half too was just out of this world.
Forsaken is just defined by the impact. You might look at the statistics, and like you said, maybe it's not as much as the golden days, but now the kills he gets are so important. Like a 3v5, I thought it was over, but you can never count PRX out.
That's right. And also, Mel's on the desk, everyone.
Hey.
Give it up for Mel. She's here with us here to talk about the game for a little while. But yeah, let's continue this conversation here, because it really did, Mel, feel like Fnatic. At the start of that game, we're in the driver's seat. 4 rounds straight. You get the timeout. And then from there, you started to see PRX gain that confidence and come back into the game.
Yeah, this game felt like the definition of streaky and momentum. We saw PRX, they were down 0-4, and then boom, they collect 8 rounds back to back. But then they swap sides, and then it's Fnatic that ends up taking the lead again.
And in this first half, PRX, I think some of the lack of experience playing on this map for Fnatic's show. They've only played it twice in officials this year, lost both times. So what PRX does a lot is they love working into mid, trying to fight up, and then split one of these sites, sage walling the other side. And that's so tough for anchor players to deal with when you're trying to fight into main. And then 3 players are splitting through mid, isolating you there. And then the rest of the team is going to be completely cut off by that wall. And they were so successful with those rounds on attack.
Yeah, being an anchor, you already have to hold several choke points, and you add that third when the other team is abusing mid control. And I want to say at the bottom there it said off guard. And the thing is, we talk about their attack, it is so off guard and surprising. But on defense, we saw the craziest combination of util to get, I think was it Jing up on that sage wall at the end through the window.
So
I have
cool.
never seen that.
Yeah, that was cool. And like Alex said, it's out there now. Everyone's seeing it now. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump over to the coach of Fnatic to get his thoughts as we get ready for map 2.
I'm now joined by Coach Milan from Fnatic. Now, you know how good Forsaken is, we know as well. How do you deal with him for the rest of the series?
I mean, you just gotta keep an eye on him, you know, see what he's doing. They're always in your face. They love to get in your face, get aggressive, and I think if we take it easy, allow them, like, absorb their aggressiveness, we'll be fine.
Well, I hope that game plan works out. Thank you very much.
All right, well, there you see map 2 coming up next. It's going to be Icebox here, picked by Fnatic, and this is one of those maps, Mel, where it is statistically looking good for the boys in black and orange. Can they pull through, though, is the question.
It is Fnatic's map pick first in this series, so and it has been really dominant for them. They've had great wins on it where the other team barely even accrues like 4 or 5 rounds. So and they just run a super standard comp, and they play the map in a way that really sets up their play styles well on the team. They have Alfir on the lurk, notably with an Outlaw. They have a great jet player in Kayak who really popped off the last time we saw him.
This map is going to highlight the difference between how these two teams want to play defense. PRX is a team that loves playing flood retake, heavy fighting onto sites, putting tons of util into their anchors. Whereas Fnatic, when they're playing the Sage comp, you're almost always going to see them back up, play these set retakes with the wall that they're super highly successful for. So I think a lot of this game is going to come down to PRX in their post plans, how much space they can take to deny those strong Fnatic retakes.
And when you say that, I mean, obviously, are we going to see something taking those aggro fights? But notably, Jing on the Omen, the difference between these two comps is the Sage passivity and the Omen aggression. And I'm going to be looking at Jing, seeing where he's playing in those post plans and what fights he's taking.
How does that Omen really shift the game, right? Because the smokes are very different than just a solo Viper comp.
It really opens up everyone to take fights, because when you have that second controller, now the Viper's like, okay, they don't really need my wall for the post plant too much, because if I go down, then the Omen can smoke. And that works both ways, right? If the Omen goes down, the Viper can play the wall. So it opens up actually everyone to make all these aggressive fights, which is just so good for the PRX style.
And it's also Jing playing it, so you know he's going to be a guy who's going for those individual plays as well. It gives some of that kind of opportunity to double TP and go for your own stuff with the paranoia too, outside of just the strength the agent brings.
All right, well, Mel, thank you so much for joining us here. But for now, let's send it back over to your casters and see if Fnatic can come back into this one and tie the series 1-1. Back over to you, Brennan Sideshow.
We're about to find out here on Icebox. It's territory here for Fnatic. If you think about it in a certain sense like that. It is a best of 5, and the double map ban advantage is on the side of PRX, but they're not done yet. They've shown that resilience, that grit. They've dug deep this entire event to make it here to this point right now.
They've always been one loss away from elimination. I think this, though, this map does feel like a bit of a must-win for Fnatic. The one after this, Pearl, which is Fnatic's permaban. As where PRX are taking us. So Fnatic have got to get out to a good start here and equalize the series if they want a serious chance of picking up another one of those trophies. In this half, be expecting PRX to be contesting space. Think about the way that they made it difficult for Fnatic to get room on their attack side. I mean, this, for example, a triple face, super committed from PRX. Hoping maybe just to find Alpha, yeah, taking a timing. He's normally going to be the solo player on A if the rest of the team is working B. But Fnatic are just trying to figure out which part of the map PRX are playing for. Where are they fighting? And this is a silent way of fighting.
Yeah.
Here.
Slow siege. Tripled up.
Here they
Hoping
come.
that someone springs this trap, and they have. Alpha catches wind of it.
And immediately this PRX triple face evaporates, dissolves, leaving only Forsaken and Jing. And even Jing actually leaving the A site entirely, ready for the reaction of Fnatic into B.
God, that spike, and they're just seeing it as well. Crashies is trying to take that timing forwards. Devi shuts it down before it gets a little bit messy here. Side control still a little bit all over the place, and there's a timing here, Boaster! Can't get the shots lined up, can't get it in order. PRX are walking all over them right now.
A nice pistol round, the first one for PRX in the series. They didn't need either of them on Sunset. It was a tight one, but they managed to get it over the line. This idea works perfectly against the way that Fnatic are going to be taking these slow-paced fights. You set up to punish people as they're contacting in.
No more.
The Fnatic coach is not too happy with how that one's gone, but know that things are still winnable even without a pistol. And Fnatic start out in a pretty similar way. Forsaken grabs the ult orb over towards A. There's a smoke up on Belt that stops you from being able to contest this angle early. And on B, Batman trying to hold a pretty aggressive position and punish you if you try to take B main for free.
And they go on wandering. Oh boy, punished for it! Devi is rolling heads off shoulders. Backup is right there by his side. Clean sweep.
Can't be getting 3 from that position with only a Sheriff. That's ridiculous. Halfway up almost to getting his lockdown online. What a shot on the first one. Barely see anything of Boaster's head. And another demonstration that PRX are going to take fights. Plenty of players in that spot would see many people in mid and just back up. Allow the turret to be broken and worry about Kitchen instead. No, PRX are going to contest that space and force you to earn it. Something with an op online in round 3. Something walking up with the op in round 3.
Want to be held here off angle. Could be shots rattled, and yeah, one to the dome. Something is the one. Dropped in his place, Boaster. Calling for a pause on the rest of the troops, no more exploration.
It's a massively important kill, but Boaster's got to know that there's another player behind that.
Deploying drone.
Drone being used by Fnatic. Clears out a lot of the site. Jing, though, is laying in wait. Time to strike might be nigh. There's a wall up onto the one side of it. Slow up, rattled. Walls up, though. Time to fight! They're just trying to tip-tap. Guardian in hand. Can't settle the recall enough here. Wall's going to be dropping down. Open access to these fights. Devi, he's still here, still kicking. The snake bite not connecting. Forsaken trying to assist the best he can, but as util used to clear him out in spades. Fnatic
No charges left.
slowly to glacial pace. Patman trying to stop this one in his tracks, though. Snake bite
30 seconds left.
ricocheting, forces an uncomfortable planting spot. It's a 2v2 still. PRX access towards it, drifting in. Kayak! Goddamn single digits. Him and Patman trying to take this one. Patman snaps to Kayak's dome. One left to start. Patman lights him up.
What a beast in the clutch this newcomer to PRX is. He's won some mightily important 1vx's. And here dismisses the rookie on the other side of the stage before taking down a player with a ton of experience too. The Red Bull clutch to win the bonus in a spot where it looked like Fnatic actually were in control, but the more that they went forward to try to get the plant down, the more they opened up opportunities. The poster, he opens, but couldn't close. Alex is happy about that one. The more flood defend aggressive style really is working here for PRX. Fnatic are finding it difficult.
Big drone, it's broken early. Crashies was just looking to clear that space. They know that something has been taking liberties.
I think it was a shock dart there as well that did a pretty large chunk of damage.
Oh yeah, cancelled it.
Alpha's gonna try to work his way up to you, but it's difficult. Devi's got his full setup here.
Paranoia trying to refight this one. A crunching Fnatic. Slow take. Stomping his tracks once more. Forsaken. Pushing them back and away. PRX are not content with just scraps. They want to go even further. Forwards again. Damage. Kayak.
I got the spike.
Might have just brought this one back from the brink. His weapons abound, but 8 HP to do it all. And Devi not eager to lose that chance.
Another spot where Kayak probably isn't anticipating Devi swinging. Most people are going to play a 2v1, a lot more cautious than that. But PRX are finding the right timings today to put pressure on Fnatic in unexpected ways. These are the risks, the gambles that PRX have taken and honestly have in some previous tournaments been punished for. But this time, today, it is really working. Fnatic's coach is already deciding to take a tactical timeout. We are seeing these really early on in the halves. I think Alex talked a little bit about it during the coach's interview, the fact that he was already out of them by the time it got to crunch time, you know, like 11-11 kind of stuff at the end of Sunset. The pressure hitting early on.
Anything to stop that momentum that PRX have. Stopping in its tracks, but it's hard to do against a freight train going at Mach 10 speeds. That's what PRX are playing like. Lights out, determined to be the ones to lift that trophy.
The only team to really put a halt on it was Gen G way earlier on. And honestly, since then, the train has just been accelerating all the way through that upper bracket. It's really difficult to stop a team that has momentum like this when they're feeling confident and are going for peaks at unexpected times. You've got to be ready for anything against PRX. And what's frustrating in this tournament, I would imagine, is that it's at quite different timings compared to usual. Here's an adjustment. Snake bite.
Ooh.
And a shot and a half there to delete Jing.
Snaps up. Jing is gone.
So they've denied Forsaken getting that Hunter's Fury online and finding themselves in a 5v4. Couldn't ask for a better beginning for Fnatic.
Push, that's a cheeky one, Patman. I don't want to overstay yourself though. Drones forward, something's going for another bite of the apple! And he evens the score.
I don't think that's too bad though for Fnatic. They do still have a res to be able to work around with. They're droning. Boaster's taking a little bit of space in mid. This is a risk.
Yeah, and he's pre-aiming the wrong spot here. Just spotted it. Something seen it. Out through the shoulder, dart against it. With a spam expecting the Boaster would cross out, and he's got out. He's got free. Alpha exploring on the other side. Devi's done. The spike in the hands of Chronicle. It's going to be a quick plant now.
Yeah, that's huge. Fnatic were anticipating that PRX would be denying the res, and so B would be more open. Instead, Devi was holding it and got deleted. Still a player advantage for Fnatic in the post plant.
An ADS stop, Alpha yet. Top form. Really trying to drag that first round on the board here for Fnatic. Brute force and mechanics. Exactly what they ordered. Forsaken's still going to be making a go at this one though. Alongside Patman, time though ticking. Spike is getting out of hands. He pushed forwards, pressed the advantage. Alpha yeah! Smelling blood in the water.
If he gets online, could be a very different game. I mean, he still played fantastically in the first map, don't get me wrong. But we've seen matches that Fnatic have been playing, honestly, not just at this tournament, but at the end of stage 1, 2, where he just took over. In my opinion, probably front runner for MVP at this point, Alpha, yeah. but competing alongside Jing, maybe even Forsaken for that kind of title. They'll need him though. PRX still up 4-1.
Few ults online, Fnatic. Another bit of util, gotta respect that.
Yeah, that constant conditioning of taking the ult orb early is just forcing some level of utility to be used for Fnatic. This round, they decide not to use a snake bite, but have to use a slow orb instead.
Patman, here's a drone. Side steps out of it, looking to take a timing rather than breaking it.
Yeah, he wants to play this aggressive. Again, think about the way that Forsaken, for example, was playing on Sunset. You want to force Fnatic to earn every inch.
All up, all down. Boaster sees an advantage and a spot to try and play in, but the first shot just missed. On either side here, smoke up in your face. And PRX re-exploring.
A completely empty here, Brent. PRX have got the right read to play it for retake.
Down 3 mid as a dash active. Kayak wants to try and go with it. Updraft over towards it. Alpha, my God, tapping away and snap into the domes of any adversary.
It's remarkable the consistency that he's got. Had to deal there with a player in a pretty unexpected position at bottom tube. Forced a 1v1 and came out the better end of it. Something's in a fairly unwinnable position. And again, Alpha, yeah, goes hunting at the end. He is thirsty. Got his lockdown online. So overall, as well on both sides to try to deal with it. So the Killjoys are not in a perfect position to be able to get value out of their ults. But this has knocked PRX's economy back after just 2 rounds. And the plays that they're going for, getting shut down. This one, not necessarily set up, but a pretty reasonable timing for Divide 4. Trying to take an unexpected peek, knowing that was probably a 1v1, but just gets sat in his place by the Turkish aim god. It's incredible when you think about some of the changes that these teams have made. I mean, let's take it from Fnatic's perspective. Trying for another trophy without Leo and Durka, which I think people would have talked about them being absolutely fundamental parts of the reason that Fnatic were able to go back-to-back in 2023. But still able to rely on pillars of the team like Alpha and Boaster's Calling, Chronicle 2. You know, this core has been able to plug in other pieces. A rookie of Kayak, a player looking for redemption like Crashies, and still have a chance, another chance at glory.
A testament, I think, to the quality of the core on Fnatic. And PRX will be trailing when it comes to that economy, but not with the rounds. They take the time out, discuss what has been going wrong.
And I think, really, the type of fights that they've been going for, there's still a decent chance of success in these spots. But it's about getting Fnatic in situations and timings that they're not quite anticipating.
Oh, quick dash though, this is Fnatic.
Way
AC,
faster.
Way faster. No one from PRX to really receive. They might be able to get a few pot shots in potentially. Swinging wide as I say that, Divide. Around the corner already. But he's looking for that open sideline, not going to be given too much. The spot's the one, even that repeat, rattling shots on. Updraft now, knives in hand, something going to clear the way and cleave. A path to victory, Kayak gone. Cut out the picture now, Swarms. The Nano Swarms themselves, lockdown even being committed. PRX are using this ult on ults, they realize it's winnable. Up towards the top though, Boaster needs to be managed. Bullet to the side, Sharon's there, and he needs to try and break this one. No, Bullet surely is just there. And one detainment on it, something sticking. Oh, just yanked out of the back pockets. Anything to secure this round for Fnatic now, and they need it. Something trying to play his life to the final moments. The right click to no avail.
And a round win for Fnatic, though a costly one on an anti-eco. Having to use some pretty large ultimates there. But a lockdown utilized on both sides. Definitely felt winnable when something came in over the top. I can understand why PRX would want to send it. They did, in fact, manage to break the lockdown coming through from Alpha.
Enemy remaining.
Unfortunately, weaponry just not quite good enough and not enough people caught in Divide's lockdown. This round, though, Forsaken the end result of all of that has that ult to empower the rest of his team to flood defend, and something with an op.
Being deep push by Jing as well.
His op was amazing earlier on in the tournament. We got to see him pull it out on Ascent, and he was working magic with it.
I have the spike.
I get his chance again, but hard to tell where Fnatic are looking to lead and end.
They're throwing down a slow orb over towards A, making it feel perhaps like they're taking early A control, and then Boaster leading them back towards B with 3, sorry. Making sure that they're grouped up, able to trade out Patman if he goes for something wild.
Sharon spotting Alpha. Just him even going for a bit of a fight towards Taken. I mean, he's lucky to be alive there.
That's so bold.
Pop it up onto the box. And the read is only coming in just now. PRX realizing potentially a little bit late. Scattered bodies, but are going to hit a wall now. Realize that they've missed their mark, potentially. Snap towards the top. Patman's still alive here. Something from the side. And Alpha wants to try and slink in himself. There's 28 seconds left, and they're getting cold feet. They're going to go towards timing. It's all on Alpha.
Alpha's found a beautiful timing here. Might be able to catch something in the back, and he's already calling for Boaster to make the rotate around.
Absolutely, and he bites his time perfectly. Just deleting adversaries now. There's 14 seconds left. You've got to get a move on.
He's going to be able to get spiked down here, though, Boaster.
He's going forwards. There's a TP back behind as well, obfuscating the intent. Jing can really just put a stop to all of this right now, but Alpha, through mid, traded out, cleaned up. One left onto the site. Boaster is to try and put a stop to it, and the reflank as well occurring. Crashies drifting all the way in, and backs towards him. They are none the wiser as I say that. Device shuts me up. It's left down to Boaster, being squeezed onto the site. Devi and Jing tightening the net, spamming away, and they find their mark.
What awareness there from Devi towards the end. Crashy's knife out, trying to find the timing, almost perfect. And Devi just thinks to check behind for a moment towards screens. They haven't seen the Sova in a while. Look at that play, though, from Patman. Working his way forwards again, aggressively challenging as the plank goes down. Always forcing Fnatic to work for it. And inside the pit, great coordination from Devi. And Forsaken, I think it was, towards the end. Just closing the net. Op back in the hands, something going aggro.
Yeah, straight down mid, but there's knives to meet him. Kayak is there, holding for the peek the barrel, just poking out. Seems to be aware of the chance.
Has he spotted it?
I don't know. With the angles being played, he's definitely holding for it. He suspects it. Something going to overstep.
An inch further forward, and Kayak for sure would see it. There gives away the hand.
Yeah. Just from the jump spot there, and an attempt at a punish. Shot trapped. No committal. Alpha is right there.
That's an insane adjustment from Alpha here as well. Devi tries to swing into cover and gets deleted.
He's trying to plug up those gaps, but up through Kitchen they are none the wiser again. It's Kayak. Drifted in, walking in. Dash is active. Missed the timing. Caught it on the wall of them. Kayak.
The patience in that moment.
Tears open the map. Fnatic, they realize they've got it at this point. Again, leaning hard on Alpha and Kayak to get it all done.
That's incredibly impressive, though. A reminder once more that this is Kayak's first global event. This is his first grand finals. It hasn't been that long since he won Ascension and started playing in the big leagues.
The money's not good. Something not long for this world at this point. Up put over towards the top. Kayak. Tasty little three-piece.
That's some unbelievable composure for a rookie player, though. That's the kind of timing that you would only expect somebody with a huge amount of experience to be able to pull off. And Jing just has no clue about that. It is a little rough when you watch it back from his POV. But the trigger discipline. Panic from Patman. And they've let things slip a little bit here. PRX down onto another eco, and Fnatic with a great opportunity to tie it up. Alpha even going for an attack off. You know that in these kind of rounds, PRX are going to be trying to challenge you. Trying to bait out that aggression from the defenders and punish is all about what Fnatic are going for here today.
Jing really being the only player that can do some damage in this spot. Bulldog ripped in his hands. He's got bodies with him too. PRX trying to hold this one down.
There was a potential for a timing on the other side of the map as well, but Patman denied it as Alfia reconnects with the rest of the squad. This is going to end A into 3 at least.
Yeah.
The stack is here.
See how this one goes. Dart's being held as well for the signs of life. There's smokes on smokes. Propped up into the face, but all contact. Slow and steady is called for by Fnatic, and that's the time to strike. Well, the iron is hot, and they find their timing. Perched up, Kayak. Just dishing it all out now with the bullets.
Jing tucked in. Patman deleted on the flank.
There's not much that Jing can really do from this spot. I mean, surely, yeah, just a Bulldog. Can't quite get it under control, and Kayak is the one online now. Take a look at this player. You said it, Josh. You would not expect this guy to be a rookie on this stage. But Icebox is his playground. It has been all tournament long.
Now you look at the two players that have been at the top of the scoreboard for Fnatic today. It's the same in map 1 and map 2. Alpha and Kayak finding their opportunities to be the playmakers as well. Opening up these rounds. From the entry and from the lurk. A reminder that Alfia brought an attack off into the previous round and he still got it here. So looking to try to shut down something if he was playing on A rafters. A pacey opening as well though. Taking this exec space quickly. Trying to punish Divide, for example, if he was going to be playing for the Orb, or Patman as well.
Jing has been prone for a little TP play or two. Alpha, slow as you go. Big boomstick in his hands. He's been lights out. All of those to try and slow this approach. PRX trying to stall this one out, but as a drone through, and Kayak is already
he's so
popping
aggro
up towards the top, and he's spotted it. Players, but he's taking bullets in the process. Tucked to the corner. If he's going to be able to survive as a wall to try and at least block some of the bullets. Forsaken grabs himself too, crashes right back at it, but no coverage. In through the back of the sun, Jing. No time for overheating, son. Keep that gun out. 17 bullets.
Alpha just with an op.
Alpha would have to just absolutely light them up, but it's a guessing game for him. PRX at least keep hold of this lead that they've had, at least for most of this map.
These are the timings I'm talking about though, Brent. You watch Crashy's POV here towards the replay. He throws out a recon dart, which means that Chronicles alone get in the plant. He does an amazing job of picking up Nvme and Forsaken, but he then thinks he has a timing to send utility, and he's not ready for Jing's fight. PRX take timings that are just slightly off, and they do catch teams napping.
This is going to be fun.
Can Fnatic tie things up at 6-6, or are PRX going to have the lead off the back of winning that pistol early?
Op v op. Kayak. Jones going to be spotting it. Clears something off the line. Patman. Looking to clear, but yeah, reposts it back up. What a read by Fnatic.
Now that is gorgeous.
Hunter's Fury pulled out. Jing, he's in their spawn. He's already taken out Alpha yet. This is PRX offloading everything at their disposal now. Lockdown, drop down. But a plant down without any problems. Fnatic going to be retreating. Crashes in a prime spot.
In theory, Chronicle could actually go for this res in mid.
Smokes up in their face. Kayak barely forwards there. Divide, will he look to the side? There's a res in mid. Bringing these players back, but the Paranoia is already sweeping forwards. PRX, they take that timing and they take it themselves. Striking straight at them. And Fnatic have to rely all on Crashies up from the high ground, half on the defuse. Forsaken, surely he's earned this now, but he's in that 1v2. And Crashies dominates from the high ground.
Crashy, so much experience in these big moments. The last hope for North America in this tournament, and he comes through huge for Fnatic there with his positioning on site. PRX knew that the rest of the players from Fnatic were stuck in mid, and he had to do everything from that high ground angle.
What a run back from Fnatic. They bring it to 6-6. One hell of a map.
gives you wings.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated.
We will dance together.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
We're back into it as well. The Coinbase Econ report. You can see even across the board here.
Yeah, I mean, and a huge amount of damage done by Alpha, yeah, which makes perfect sense because he's up towards 12 kills. Matched on the other side by Divide, but I think some of the impact that Alpha was having on the attack side, fairly unmatched. Now, I think the game is going to shift pretty significantly, though, here. This half, you heard the Death set it up. Fnatic love playing the retake. They are going to be playing for Chronicles Wall retake on the pistol. That's their normal strategy, at least. And that is the entire opposite way that Gen G, for example, play. A team that smacked PRX around on this map in this half. PRX were constantly fighting, always denying, never allowing PRX any space. That's the Pacific style. Fnatic don't really play like that, so we're going to get a really different game here. In theory, PRX should actually have a ton of room to be able to get onto these sites.
PRX just walking for now.
This has been their style in all of the pistols on their attack side so far. Very contacty.
And the smokes, they hide the intent pretty well. Drifting up through window, a couple of random bullets as well. Fnatic are trying to reinforce this one. They're doubling it up. It's Boaster and Crashies against the bloody world. And they're ready to deliver. Crashies already with quick 2-1s, and now pissed around ideas. All gone a bit skew whiff, really. Fnatic are in complete control.
Jing's smoke gave the game away there. A brilliant read from Fnatic. They knew exactly what was happening. Felt a little too similar perhaps to what's been happening on Sunset as well. All of those contacty plays around the map. Relying on the fact that Fnatic like to play in deeper, more cautious positions. This time, Fnatic choose to draw a line in the sand at Kitchen.
Guys, like that confident. Go like that confident. If they're coming to you, run to them, bro. Just kill these noobs, bro.
It's a good point.
It's interesting that Alpha says that, because that is his way of playing, but it's not the way that Fnatic themselves usually fight. Be interesting to see if his words of wisdom carry through. Boaster, though, backing off instead of stepping up.
Yeah.
Looking to try to play the numbers and play the retake. More of the classic Fnatic style.
Following those sound cues, looking to potentially take some early fights. Kayak. Shot to the body, Marshall will do that. There's no armor on the board here. Trying to go for that plant down. And if going to push this one back, not quite, it's going down. Slowly being collapsed upon here. PRX don't really stand a chance. Just from the hip. Something classic. Does some damage, but that's about it.
A pretty clean round. Boaster and Alpha, they didn't even invest, so they've got plenty of opportunity here to have a good buy heading into their bonus round. But Fnatic are going to be doing a lot of this, where they're trying to react to what PRX are doing around the map. Trying to stack bodies and get in position to go for that retake. Kayak, though, is contesting as the plant goes down there. You know, Fnatic might have a bit of an adjustment. We've got to hear it from Alpha. But it will be very interesting if Fnatic decides to take the fight to PRX. Kayak picking up an operator. That's come out of the Boaster bank.
Okay.
It's a good job we're not doing the econ report now, I suppose, at the end of this one. But yeah, Boaster, always the selfless leader.
Kayak trying to post himself up. Well, the supports, and wow, something. Eager to try and take down fight. Kayak makes him regret it. Shoulders just poking out here. This is Fnatic. Pick advantage. Precisely the place they love to be in.
Jing's down to go really aggressive with this Omen. I've seen him teleport onto screens before. Ult into crazy spots. In a playmaking situation like this, down 4v5, you're wanting Jing to step up.
Hunter's Fury pulled out of it. That's early. Crashes been earning his kills and his orbs up through mid. Another lurk happening. Jing is gone. Patman had to delete that turret, and Alfier's right there behind him. Avenging poor Timmy. Divide and Forsaken, you might have got this plant down. But how the hell are you going to dig yourself out of this one? Mistakes need to be made, and Fnatic not in the habit of making them often here. The dart against the back, all is revealed, and Forsaken can't do it all.
Fnatic overall in this tournament are playing about 2/3 of their rounds for retakes, but you see here, they're not all even 5v5 retakes. Finding picks as the attackers work their way in.
Destroyed.
Both from the operator and from the ultimates, applying that pressure and creating an easier retake for themselves. An almost impossible situation for those final two that were left alive. And I think they've got to be better at dealing with getting onto the line to fight Kayaks off. That was a pretty lazy way of trying to get onto that angle. One dart that didn't even land towards back yellow, and something swings at the same time.
Aggro here with a slow orb just to try and deny that belt space.
Both teams fighting for belt space and the ult orb.
Patman, hold on, walk about, Sheriff in hand, he just can't quite control it. Alfie, lucky to be alive from that spot, but still claims the kill.
Definitely would have been a punish on a rifle round.
Now regrouping up, Fnatic have got bodies ready to receive. They can fully aware of this one and how it's going to be landing, but that's a sideways swing. Sets up Divide perfectly.
Placing swarm grenade.
Stinger in hand. Plan can now go down here. They brought us to a 4v4. Close quarters weaponry. PRX are going to be looking to try and take this fight towards Fnatic. Oh, playing offside for it. Fnatic still grouped towards screens. The rifles looking to try and dissuade any chance of PRX getting away with that funny business. Grouped up together with the discipline. Chronicle, lights out from him.
So dependable, so reliable. Very good reasons why he's the winningest player of all time in Valorant. A win here would be utterly incredible for Chronicle's career, but everything has been the whole time. Crashies did not like the way that he took that fight. Shot bullets at 3 separate people that ran past him. Had to bail out of that one early, but got bailed out by the rest of the team. This is now 4 rounds in a row for Fnatic to start the half. Was dead.
It's going to be tough going for PRX here. No more intervention happening from Alex's behalf. They're going to try and run this one back to do it alone.
PRX have been going for those mid lurks quite a lot. They put pressure on mid right at the start of the round, and they've had Pac-Man try to lurk. They haven't been very successful with it. At some point, I wonder whether it puts them off entirely.
Couple of stray shots there, Sheriff in hand. Already trying to dash straight up. An attempt of a punish. PRX are making this one fast and loose, playing it forwards, risks to be had. This is that PRX of old, and just missing the top of nest. They're timing each other. Alpha still active here, trying to drop back as well. He needs some safety, and he needs some backup, but something is the one delivering depth. All out to the opposition. There's kills happening all over the bloody place.
Something's got to hold off a double flank, but Jing might be the playmaker over in Snowman.
Still player advantage, not for much longer. There it is, something. He's even it out 3v3, but for the repeat, all expected. Kayak, 2v3 now.
Jing was
Jing
was begging for people to come towards him, and really nobody has. Jing's positioning was cute, but no one's coming his way.
Yeah, and Crashy's brought back into the fold now. This is feeling inevitable. Updraft dash, cute play indeed, isolating the fight. Forsaken trying to make a go of it now, trying to really do the damage. But a bullet to the back, it's all up to Jing, and it's brought it to that 1v1. Smokes v smokes, Boaster sticking, it denied the chance. They brought that one back from an impossibility.
Really beautiful positioning and phenomenal impact from two incredible players. What was going on there?
Okay.
Absolutely bizarre. But this play from Forsaken, again, enormous impact, just what Mel was talking about on the desk. He might not be exactly at the top of the scoreboard, but every kill he gets is huge impact. And he set up a 1v1 for Jing to slam dunk.
Stem the bleeding for now.
Kayak on another pretty aggressive position. The drone designed to try to push him off, and he dips, not giving away the fact that he's got the op.
Trying to re-peek it as well. That's a wide face, something. Lucky just evades the bullets.
Does Kayak take Alfia's advice and refight? Or is he looking to play risk-averse and set up the retake with the rest of his team?
No dash available, it would be risky, just trying to take that timing inside that smoke with the updraft. Quick scope, bullets raining down onto him. Something, though, has been dropped. Chopped down at the knees is what it seemed. Chronicle happy to deal out that damage here on site.
Still with a recon.
Kayak.
Kayak's op is fantastic at preempting these spots that PRX want to fight.
He's perfectly posted every single time. The dart is a 180. Pac-Man has got to do a lot from this spot. Jing, again, heroics are called for. It's forward. The positioning, they're looking to try and stunt it, trying to stop it. Knives in hand. PRX drawing blood. But again, that re-peek playing into Fnatic's hands to buy. Chronicle already on the defuse. He's got to start swinging, and he's got to do it now. It's all safety. Play for Crashies, watching for that peak.
These rounds are going to be tilting Alex in the coaching booth, I think. It's just not good enough for PRX. Look, and in the replay, how often they're fighting one by one. Forsaken on his own. That was a bit of a double fight together, but here Pac-Man swings with Divide, having no real support. PRX need to be coming up with ideas of how they want to fight together, or what timings they want to take together in the post plan. Because Fnatic are essentially just waiting.
Yeah.
They're not even really scaling on the retake, they're just holding, knowing that PRX are going to run into them more.
It's a large reveal. PRX are all grouped up.
Well, they've got a massive ultimate advantage in this round, Brent. So if there was a round to try to do something quick and hit them hard, hit them fast, it would be this one.
Fnatic are just giving them all that space again, like you said.
Post-plan lockdown would be crazy good from Divide too.
Updraft over with the knives. Looking for a target, looking for a sight line. Util just comes out swinging, rebounding. Finally, Forsaken can commit. PRX do have ult to their own.
Yeah, my eyes immediately go to Divide, wondering when he's going to try to use this.
There it is. Smoke's dropped down. This is Fnatic trying to make a go. Lockdown's there. Already in. This is Fnatic trying to make a play for this. Kayak. There's no stopping this guy. Disgusting work, but a lockdown cannot be broken in time. Alviedo found himself a pocket, found himself a window. And Forsaken is going to do it all. Offload him with the ult. It's time ticking, really. That point. Found the kill. Running him down, though. Forsaken will be finished. Kayak on the defuse.
That's close.
That's so damn close. Oh!
Less than a second on the clock of Fnatic. Perfectly execute a really difficult retake. How on earth do they get that into a 5v3 whilst battling through Devi's lockdown? Not sure what's going through something's head here on this peak. I don't think that's a good one, but this shot is bonkers. A ludicrous one for Kayak to be bringing out. Absolutely jet diffing something. And like I said, it's got to be tilting because I don't think PRX are actually playing these rounds particularly well in the post. Earlier on Sunset, I think you could argue both teams were really bringing a good game, but now PRX letting Icebox slip, and this could be Fnatic equalizing.
Kayak been unbelievable so far with his form. Icebox really is his playground, but he's forced to concede that space. Jing forward, sees it onto the shoulder, poster, gone. Alpha responds, straight it out, but there's pressure in mid, and Devi still looking through, but finally spotted out. Players need to deal with him, but it's all chaos thrown into the mix. Forsaken, and Devi there with a 3-2-1 swing. Chronicle gone, and PRX still alive in this map for now.
When all else fails, rely on the W gaming. That was a really large swing back towards Chaos. Controlled to some degree, sure. There was a double lurk set up, and Jing went for that same play, trying to get deep into Snowman on an unexpected timing. And this time finds a target to be able to work with. But it was Chaos. I mean, this play, Devi just running up tube into Alpha, yeah, he's just hoping he finds that timing and doesn't get punished. One round at a time. Fnatic choosing to go for a half bite here to make sure that their economy doesn't get completely broken.
Kayak swinging and looking to just draw blood out of them. PRX. They are still there though, Devi. Can sense it, posturing occurring, and a deep push and peek by Chronicle is already anticipated.
Good awareness from Devi.
Yeah. Expecting it all now.
Crashes with a rifle. Boaster might be able to recover one if he completely repositioned, but at the moment, really isolated over in this Snowman spot. Should be PRX being able to pick this one up. 4v2.
Hello.
Tip tap.
Ghost bullet. Not the weapon of choice for Boaster, obviously. Not cleaned up though either, and that could spell problems. Jing pressing forwards, crashes now. He's got that rifle, needs to make it sing. He's already found himself two. Dart towards the back, needs to be dealt with, but doubled up PRX. Are the ones on top.
Still though, even in that 4v2, PRX players taking risks.
Sentry.
Gonna be giving Alex a heart attack. But now Alex with another opportunity to talk to the team. And honestly, this might be a blessing for PRX. Because despite winning 2 in a row, they don't look super confident right now.
No.
But it's the Fnatic coaches that have decided to take attack timeout. I'd be a little bit cautious about doing this, to be honest, because I do think it offers an opportunity for Alex to right the ship that's looking pretty shaky in this half overall. Last 2 rounds notwithstanding. Ults are back online as well for Fnatic though, so Milan might be just trying to drum up a set ult round that can knock PRX out. A little bit similar to what we saw on Sunset towards the end, where you bring out a set play just to get across the line. And Fnatic do have depth. You know that they've got the experience. You know that they've got one of the greatest callers when things get scrappy in a mid-round. But this coaching staff has also proven themselves. It's been a great run since Milan got promoted to the head coach position.
Fnatic, they just need the one. PRX, as you mentioned, it was a critical timeout taken by Fnatic. It's time to insert what's going wrong for them. PRX, Alex will happily take that space, but 3 rounds still stands between them, drawing it to OT.
Jing going for another really deep push.
Forwards, Crashies is good. Ajao with a movement still. This is going to be rapid. And Jing's all the way around towards the side. One more TP. Try and get out of dodge there, but committing that paranoia. And Kayak filling in the pieces. Alpha tip top in with the movement.
That's huge from Patman, being able to pick off the 1v1 fight against Alpha and trade Chronicle.
It's all over the place.
Patman can't reconnect with the rest of his team to really pop down this Viper's Pit on site.
Just tried to adjust, missing on either side.
Planted.
Dropping it down though into that 3v2 Boaster. Might have just caught eyes onto Patman. Patman tucked up close with Boaster, is wise to it.
He's just trying to delay for as long as possible. Actually, maybe he didn't
Up
even...
onto the high ground.
Oh, what an off angle.
God damn.
I thought for a moment there, maybe he hadn't realized that Boaster had spotted him, but repositioned into a spot that he was going to be favored on. And this round, I think, again, another reason why I was a little bit worried about Fnatic taking that attack pause. Because Jing immediately comes out of it with a really unexpected way of pressuring these players over towards a mid-split. That recon dart that got thrown over the top from Forsaken. Oh, and the timing here as well.
And this operator, it's critical to Fnatic's game plan.
And this sets us up with a strong potential for overtime. The Fnatic economy is in a really bad spot now. And so, one more rifle round before OT. This play, though, I think huge credit given to Patman. Jing's in a pretty horrible spot there. And Patman has to win the battle against Alpha through Tube before he can go and help him. Take a look at the buy, though.
Yeah.
Knives, okay, huge for Kayak, but 3 stingers to support.
The rifle and a lot of bolts on top of it. Kayak can't even escape.
I mean, that's insane from Jing just running through, but he has full trust in the paranoia.
Oh, it's full aggression. They're not stopping now. The PRX of old wants to rear its head. The leash has been cut and snapped. There's no containing them. Like a pack of rabid velociraptors. Hungry for more.
You get to see the full gamut of PRX here. We started out on Sunset with them playing that slower, more strategic style. And now you get the full W gaming. The last 4 rounds have been really heavily powered by Jing just doing crazy stuff on Omen. And this last round of regulation, at least, Fnatic have got to try to make an adjustment to stop that in its tracks.
And they are all in. Why wouldn't you be operator here? Smoke in your face to try and obfuscate. This is the Hunter's Fury that's coming out swinging.
They thought it was another one of those fast hits. Crashies gets the ult baited out as PRX reset.
Conditioning for you. Device one away from an ult of his own now. Slower tempo. Even the ult just thrown into it. Jing obfuscating the intent, but bodies are now trying to form up.
That's supposed to draw bodies away from the A site and make it easier for PRX, but there's still a pit here. There's still a lockdown.
Yeah, it's a lockdown for a lockdown here in this spot. Alpha's ready. Puts it up close to the screens. What's the next level to all of this? Hunter's Fury going to be committed. It's going to be breaking that portion of it, and this has to be respected now. Fnatic, they've offloaded everything to try and stay into this round, but the pit's going to be going down. It crashes out into the open.
Boaster beefed it. That pit, you're supposed to get back inside, and he got detained.
And PRX not slowing down. Still that res brings Crashy back into the fold. Back into the fray. Watchful eye up through mid. PRX eager though. Looking to see if they can topple Fnatic before they stand and get a grip onto this retake. Pressing forwards, shoulder to shoulder discipline. It's helped so far, but Fnatic need it now in spades. Jing, that extra element. Drifted into the side here, doubled up, and the rifles are ringing out.
PRX grab a 5th round in a row to take us into OT. Felt like an inevitability on Sunset, to be honest with you, but here on Icebox, Fnatic take a timeout and it goes straight back in their face. PRX dial up the tempo, something on a high ground. Jing deep in heaven, getting into aggressive positions, unexpected spots. And even though Alpha, yeah, dealt with the lurk, there were too many threats. The stress on both sides. And again, a reminder that when you look at the map pool, it feels a bit like a must-win for Fnatic. Next one is their permaban.
Standing ahead.
Smoke on the corner, something. Glass cannon operator. Opted into heavy defensive setup here by PRX. Fnatic again, you're going to see that caution played by them. Tiptoeing around, a bit tepid, but trying to dissect the map. Thrown overhead, spots out the jet.
Yeah, spotting Kayak there gives you some decent information. An idea that it might well be ending A, so you can keep these 4 players. The trust they have in Patman, just to hold down B if their read is wrong. But it's not at all. Forsaken with exactly the right idea of what's happening here. Boaster calling for a little bit more pressure over towards B, and PRX, they want info. They want to step up a little. As Boaster sniffed this out, he's calling for Fnatic to reposition.
Into the B split, perhaps.
And this is going to put Patman's head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And maybe Patman's head on a spike.
Going to be turning up the heat. 25 seconds left, down to the wire. Patman still has a snakebite to try and deny some space. Shot darts in your face. Walls up, same with the orbs. PRX starting to get a bit of a read on this one here, but again, Patman needs to try and deny. He steps forward, blind as anything. He does not know what's going on. PRX trying to even it out. Kayak with a peek, but the plan needs to go down. With no issues further. Crashies commits. They're getting into the spot now. Fnatic putting a squeeze onto these PRX players. They're going to try and clear this guy out. Kayak, he's done. Finished. Paranoia up top. Jing, no way! Nearsighted Chronicle may be, but this guy will not be denied. Something's still there though, swinging wide. The operator switched around, weaponry now with a rifle. Time starting to tick in a 1v1. Crashies, tepid, approach, and it works best for him.
Again, Crashies comes up in the clutch. What a recovery in a 3v3 situation there. Boaster calling a brilliant slow round. It felt like Forsaken exactly knew what was happening, but the further the time ticked, the more that Boaster realized and sniffed out that stack on A. Chronicle to Legendary in that top nest position. And Fnatic once more have an opportunity to close.
Forwards, Kayak. Trying to fill in their space here. Oh my god, the pure disrespect. The dash is there. Boaster needs to try and stop them here, but he's isolated onto the corner and caught out wide. Kayak's still there though. This guy is eager to just try and play into the mechanics. PRX not stopping. The feed is filled with red and blood being spilt out onto the site. Tricky task indeed for Fnatic. Walls up and everyone is falling slowly but surely. Chronicle, last one left. 5 bullets left in a swing from Divine. All the confidence in the world.
PRX have figured out exactly what is working on these attack sites. It definitely feels like they're the team that's closer to being able to close this out, to be honest with you. Despite the fact that Fnatic had so many map points to be able to work with, this looks like PRX is to lose because their attacks, the fast, aggressive approach is just barreling through Fnatic. Something, again, that pulls out the operator, and Fnatic, they got an extra timeout to use once things go to OT, and they're going to use it fairly early on. 13-13, and Milan wants input. Every player, by the way, on Fnatic, over 20 kills apart from Boaster, who's only got 7. That's a little bit rough.
Struggling to put up the numbers.
At the same time, though, it does show you that the other 4 players are all having very good performances. Because all 4 of them have had huge rounds, big moments. And Boaster's calling has still been finding impact, even if his rifle isn't.
That's what Fnatic are leaning on here.
to be honest, Brent, I think you look at the other side of things, and the player at the bottom of the scoreboard there is something. And if he can find one round, just one, with the defensive off, that will right all of the wrongs of what he's been up to in this map. Because PRX have already got the game plan for the attack side, it's working. If he can find a big operator round here, he could well put his team up to a maybe insurmountable lead.
Placing swamp grenade.
Fnatic taking his time to recuperate, breathe a little bit. It's a slow orb that could have been thrown out, but Forsaken, no, he's just, I mean, okay, scot-free.
Yeah, he was playing for that pretty heavily in regulation. Less important, arguably, here in overtime, because everybody starts 3 away. Don't know if you noticed that Nano Swarm as well that was put down on top Jenny from Divide. That's where Kayak's been pathing to almost every time. So they've got a very specific counter plan here. Look at Jing holding that paranoia as well. They know exactly what they want to do to counter this Fnatic A hit.
Primed, ready to pounce here.
It does feel like these timeouts have been helping Alex and PRX more than Fnatic.
Drone's broken. Deep control towards B. Any posturing by Fnatic is put to an end. And now, eyes set over towards A. Triple face, alarm bell. It's going to be gone. Jing there with a paranoia! Oh my goodness!
It works perfectly. The game plan, absolute perfection.
Cut them to shreds, and Fnatic now left scrambling for options.
There's the op value as well. Divide tucked onto a position that's really tough to clear.
And Kayak is going to try and win that. Final bullets left!
Spike down.
Mid-animation Boaster, the captain himself. He's going to right the wrongs of the round, but on top of the ropes, the purest form of disrespect, PRX.
And that was the round that they needed. Every attack round has been going well for them. They won the last 5 in a row to close out regulation.
One enemy
it's been pacey, it's been fast. W gaming and the train keeps on trucking. Let's see if Fnatic have an answer, because all of the pressure is now on them.
Oh yeah. On their attack side, PRX are sending it.
Revealing area.
Grouped up, deep dark, paranoia. They're making it feel like it's that fast B pressure. And Kayak is taking liberties, taking risks. Him versus Defy finds it.
That's huge info as well. You see Defy on this side of the map, you know at least that they're defaulting. You don't know for sure that they're coming back over towards A, but you know it's not that fast B hit. And look how quickly Alpha just takes all of this space on B.
Oh, yeah, deep push. Mid-round information going to be given up here. The rest of his team, an attempt of a punish at a jump spot. Boaster, the acknowledgement he was looking for.
I mean, what a decision from Forsaken to try to fake.
Yeah, he's creeping in through the back. They already know he's there. Patman, really anticipated. Bodies out wide to the open. Patman just sidesteps it. Alternating with the movement, but tucked behind Dice. Forsaken is creeping forward. Off of that contact, Kayak. When is your time to strike? Deep dart, dash active, wall up into your face. Throw into the corner, clears him out though. We'll have to use it to disengage.
Chronicle can step in to cover that though. PRX still, even with all 3 players here, have got a difficult task.
Before War's down as well, out to the open. Jing! He's dropped.
30 seconds left.
The Fnatic have found it. Their footing, the foundation. A safety net now, all the pressure's on Patman. 1v3, 20 seconds left. Taps it, looking for a kill, looking for a cheap fight. Again, he's not going to be given it. Snake bite, all the options reduced to ruins.
I respect the balls to go for a fake there. If it had worked, we'd be calling Forsaken a genius. But actually, he just deviated away from a game plan that's been working for PRX. The pace, the aggression, Fnatic did not have an answer for it. And instead in this round, maybe overcooking things slightly. Went to fake that fast pressure and played into the kind of tempo that Boaster's super happy to call against. Immediately, Kayak realized it was a fake. Alpha got quick on the flank, and now we're back to even.
14-14. Up overhead with the util.
Something still going for the operator. Every round on defense has been trying to make it work. Did find a little bit of value with it over towards B. They've got to be watching out for this paranoia again. It worked so well last time for Jing, but he's not really in a spot to use it now.
Cheeky with the positioning.
It looks to me like they're trying to fake that it's only Alpha here on A. You know, he's the player that's getting up, getting forwards.
Lost man with the dart. It's going to be a drone. Fnatic faking like they're taking B control. Looking to see if they can pull bodies to make A a little bit weaker. Soften it up for the take now.
I mean, that's nice. Patman takes contact, which disguises where the operator is. So it could still be on A.
They're drifting though. PRX are losing control. Gonna hard anchor it now, but they're seeing signs of life and hearing it on top of it. Nano swarms, deaded. All up in your face to delay.
Do they play to flood? Do they play to defend and deny the spike?
Devi is hard committed. He's seeing just the body. He's peeking over towards the top of this row. And we're seeing it now. Paranoia is forwards again. There's a wall into your face. Fnatic have access towards it.
Insane!
What is that by Jing? Fnatic! Vice grip now over towards the site. And it scraps on the floor that Patman has to pick up and make something from it. Damage done, bullets raining through, but right from the side, Chronicle never denied. Something here, operator in hand, but this is just dire. Oscillating the momentum of this map, happening round by round. Picks up the rifle, but you got one hell of a task, and no clearance again. Time's ticking. It's all against it. Crashies knows it.
Big round from Chronicle, but also a wild play from Jing. We saw the value we got from the Paranoia in the previous round. This time, tries to send it again. Throws that out, goes for the TP. But I mean, that is some nutcase behavior. You see, it did land onto Crashies, but just there's way too many people around there. Again, respect.
Holy shit, that's size, bro.
Respect for going for the play, but keeping things simple might have had PRX already close out the map at this point. And a couple of rounds ago, it felt like they were completely in control. Now it does not.
Now it's flipped, 180.
Thing is though, PRX, again, could just go back to playing those fast attack sides. And we've yet to see Fnatic demonstrate they have an answer. Yeah. There's been no evidence that they actually can deal with that pace. But the more that you have to battle against their map points, the more you start to overthink things. And this map, if it ends up being important later on, will be a difficult mental barrier to overcome for PRX if they lose control here. They did such a good job getting to overtime, denying 5 map points.
Fnatic have clawed it back. One more round is all they need to seal up Icebox, draw us level here in a best-of-5 grand finals.
Fnatic's job is to deny, keep that trophy out of reach.
He's taking a peek here early. It's an operator in his hands. Wall up and over. You don't anticipate this one. It's a classic play, or do you? Heads-up play. You're trying to use those walls against PRX. They were born in it, molded by that play.
Beautiful anticipation from Forsaken. Now, the wall does still block Patman off. And Alpha, he's pushed up.
Alpha, you are so hard committed here, but he just spots it onto the drone as well. And my God, man! Does he deliver? Taken out eventually. But he's brought it into a 3v3. Hearing the footsteps, the rumble, Patman, there's a timing to be taken, and he just grasps it immediately, jumps on a chance.
And this isolates Crashies. Crashies would have to be a hero for Fnatic to get this across the line.
Put towards the back of the box. Walking forwards here, there's a wall into their faces. There's a game on those timings. Again, Crashies, surely not long for the world. And there it is, Patman from behind. PRX not done yet.
Planted.
A round where Fnatic tried to pull out a cutesy play, and it leaves the caller in a 1v3. Ooh. He's destroyed at the end. 15-15. Neither team can get a proper advantage over the other and get a grip on this. They're bringing out tactics they probably haven't tried in quite some time. Both teams have got depth.
One enemy remaining.
But things get scrappy the deeper you get.
You are insane, bro. You are insane,
All compliments.
Thanks.
Back up on their feet here, 15-15.
Oh, PRX fighting aggro.
Aggro as anything, Kayak though. One shot to the dome, Jing is gone. Wants a little bit more with that dash active. It's going to be used on either side. Something just needs to try and escape. He's got the safety net of Forsaken watching over the shoulder.
And Fnatic back up, anticipating some level of aggression elsewhere around the map. Alpha almost got an opportunity to pick off Patmen in mid with that attack up. And Patmen is not going to go for it again. PRX are anticipating a re-hit here, and that does look like the idea here.
Just cautious for now, though.
And Fnatic always with these opportunities to pivot back to Boaster. Boaster's done a very good job in this map of just applying options, giving himself options to work with. His is the more passive role, just making sure nobody pushes out of B. And once again, Patmen is asked to do so much.
On a knife's edge here, on top of the wall, it's a dart. Trying to take this timing pass. He's going to try and push forwards. Take the fight to it. There's an orb in the face of these players. Wall up now on top of it. Creeping forwards already.
He caught this timing before.
Wall up though. Surely it's going to be watched for. Spam happening, occurring. Popping up on towards the top! Alpha! How the hell do you land that one? Spike planted. Best scenario you could really hope for if you're Fnatic in this spot here. Again, Alpha, shoulder, peeking out. Taken out. Deep down against the back. Prime's ready and finally let loose with the slow orbs. And you're going to see that 3-2-1 with a swing. Timing to be taken. Something's on the flank. Already ripping his way all the way past. Needs to be taken out. Something. He's found it. Dash back already. But the time is ticking away.
2 bullets.
And 2 bullets. 2 players. Not enough to get it all done.
Fnatic again with a really solid round to put themselves up once more. So many opportunities to close this. The timing that Patmen tries to take, he was rewarded for it previously. This time though, not focusing on the planter, seeing if he could catch a player that was looking to defend and failed. Forsaken pulls out the Odin to try to deny the wall perhaps?
Second guessing it.
Yeah, decides not to go for it in the end.
Down again. Jing TP's forwards. This is it. Fnatic trying to lock in, trying to step up to that task that's ahead of them here.
And there's the player that's been driving the train forwards. The engine power was coming from Jing in all of these fast attack rounds. Now something has to step up an entry. Dash already popped.
Kag's still here. Put over towards the top there, just spotting it out, and the damage done something. 1 bullet to the chest is all it takes for Fnatic. They can feel it. Energy here on their sides. 3v5, it's all contact called for here by PRX. They're hoping there's an overextension. Never in a million years though. Fnatic are always going to be disciplined. Snakebite up and over. Dodged and juked down towards the back to buy. He's to land these shots. There's no freebies handed to him. Fnatic just bite it out.
They're always expecting PRX to be the ones making the play. The time is going to be ticking here for Fnatic, though. They've got to go at some point.
Double face up towards the top. Patmen reveals his hand with a snakebite drop down on top of it, and this is it. Fnatic never denied it. Hard going all the way through, but they have made it even.
So many opportunities to close this one out, and finally Fnatic managed to grab one of them. 17-15. Both of these maps have been a grind. And in a final like this, so much is about endurance and how you pace yourself. Up next, Fnatic's permaban.
This mother doesn't need respect. Come on!
See, Alpha is raging.
No!
Alpha is hungry.
Normally we say respect everyone, fear no one, but they don't give respect to them, okay? Just swing them, just smash their heads, okay?
Turkish wolf is hungry.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Spike defused.